What if the most powerful longevity foods on earth were never sold in a store, but served in silence inside Japanese monasteries for over 1,000 years? Right now, millions of Americans spend hundreds on supplements and superfoods that did not exist 10 years ago. Chronic disease rates keep climbing, gut health keeps declining, and most people have never heard of the one cuisine designed entirely around keeping the body strong, clean, and calm. That cuisine is Shojin Ryori, the sacred plant-based cooking of Zen Buddhist monks practiced in temples across Kyoto, Nara, and Mount Koya since the 13th century. Every ingredient chosen with purpose, every meal eaten in meditation. Researchers at Tohoku University and the Okinawa Centenarian Study are now confirming what monks knew all along. These foods reduce inflammation, protect the gut, and extend healthy lifespan at the cellular level. Today, you get 20 of these ancient temple foods. Number 14 has been shown to lower blood sugar by 23% in clinical trials. And number 1 is the single food Zen monks eat every day without exception, and science now understands why. Let us get into it. Number 20, shiso leaf. The herb Zen monks placed on every healing meal, and it was never just for decoration. In temple kitchens across the Kansai region, shiso has been a medicinal staple since the 8th century. Monks grew it in monastery gardens and brewed it into tea as the first remedy whenever illness struck. A study in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry found that rosmarinic acid in shiso reduced allergic inflammatory responses by 37%. The same anti-inflammatory effect monks relied on for centuries without knowing the chemistry. Shiso supports respiratory health and clears congestion. It calms digestive discomfort after meals, and its antioxidant content rivals many common berries. Chop 5 fresh leaves into rice or soup daily, or steep dried shiso in hot water for 5 minutes as an after-meal tea. Monks did not add shiso for flavor. They added it because they breathed easier and sat longer in stillness after eating it. Number 19, kuzu root, the one ingredient temple monks reach for every time the body needed to recover. During the Nara period, over 1,200 years ago, monks prepared kuzu as a warm, thick broth to soothe stomachs weakened by winter meditation retreats. It was considered the most gentle food a body could receive. Researchers at Kyushu University found that purarin, an isoflavone in kuzu, improves blood circulation and supports repair of the intestinal wall. Kuzu stabilizes blood sugar without spiking insulin. It calms the nervous system and eases tension headaches. And it restores the gut lining after periods of stress. Dissolve 1 tablespoon of kuzu starch in cold water. Heat slowly while stirring until thick, and drink warm on an empty stomach. Temple monks called kuzu the food you eat when you cannot eat. That tells you everything about what it does. Number 18, daikon radish, the root vegetable in nearly every temple meal, and the reason has far less to do with taste than most people think. At a Heiji temple, one of the head temples of Soto Zen, daikon is served at nearly every meal, grated raw alongside rice. Monks ate it for over 1,000 years to support digestion after heavy grain meals in cold winter months. A study at the University of Tokyo found that the enzyme diastase in raw daikon accelerates the breakdown of starches and fats. This enzyme is most potent uncooked, exactly how monks have always eaten it. Daikon reduces bloating after heavy meals. It supports liver detoxification and bile production, and its vitamin C strengthens the immune system during seasonal changes. Grate half a cup of raw daikon and eat alongside your largest meal. Do not cook it for full enzyme benefit. The monks at Eiheiji did not consider daikon a side dish. They considered it medicine served at the table. Number 17, soba noodles. The meal Zen monks eat on the last night of every year, and the reason goes deeper than tradition. Buckwheat soba has been part of monastic life since the Edo period. At temples across Nagano, Monks prepare it in the New Year's Eve ritual of toshikoshi soba. But it was also a daily food in mountain temples where sustained energy without heaviness was essential. Research in the British Journal of Nutrition found that rutin in buckwheat strengthens blood vessel walls and reduces cardiovascular risk. Monks eating soba daily were protecting their hearts without studying cardiology. Rutin improves circulation and lowers blood pressure. Buckwheat contains all 8 essential amino acids, and its slow-releasing carbohydrates prevent blood sugar spikes. Cook dried soba in boiling water for 4 minutes, rinse cold, and serve with a small cup of dipping broth. Monks ate soba because it let them sit for hours without distraction from hunger or heaviness. Number 16. Wakame seaweed. The sea vegetable Okinawan women credit for their smooth skin well into their 90s. At coastal monasteries in the Sanriku region during the Heian period, monks collected wakame from tidal rocks and added it to miso broth as a daily mineral source. Scientists at Hokkaido University isolated fukoxanthin in wakame, shown to promote fat metabolism and reduce abdominal fat in the Journal of Lipid Research. Monks consumed it long before anyone understood the metabolic effects. Fukoxanthin supports thyroid function. Wakame is one of the richest plant sources of calcium and magnesium, and it supports collagen production in the skin. Add a small handful of dried wakame to any soup or salad. It rehydrates in 2 minutes and needs no cooking. Okinawan centenarians do not take calcium supplements. They eat wakame. That distinction matters more than most people realize. Number 15. Satsuma imo, the Japanese sweet potato. The food making up the largest portion of the traditional Okinawan diet and its link to extreme longevity is no longer a theory. In Okinawa, sweet potatoes became the staple of farming communities in the 17th century. During scarcity, it was often the only food. Yet those communities produced some of the longest-lived people ever recorded. The Okinawa Centenarian Study identified the purple sweet potato as a major contributor to low rates of heart disease and cancer. Anthocyanins in the purple flesh protect cells from oxidative damage at the DNA level. Satsuma imo stabilizes blood sugar with its low glycemic index. Its fiber feeds beneficial gut bacteria, and beta-carotene supports eye health and immunity. Roast 1 medium sweet potato at 400 degrees for 45 minutes. Eat as a replacement for bread or white rice. Okinawans did not live to 100 because of modern medicine. They lived to 100 because they ate this root almost every day. Number 14. Azuki beans. The small red bean monks cooked into porridge for centuries, and modern research shows it quietly regulates one of the body's most dangerous systems. At temples throughout Kyoto, monks prepare azuki gayu during winter retreats to sustain energy through long, seated meditation. The red bean was believed to ward off illness and was served during fasting and purification since at least the 3rd century. A clinical trial in the Journal of Nutritional Science and Vitaminology found that regular azuki consumption lowered blood glucose by up to 23%. Monks were managing blood sugar centuries before the term existed. Azuki beans are rich in B vitamins for cellular energy. They contain iron to combat fatigue, and resistant starch feeds beneficial bacteria in the lower intestine. Soak dried azuki beans overnight, simmer with water and sea salt for 45 minutes, and eat a small bowl in the morning with rice. Temple monks served azuki during their most demanding practices, not for taste, but because it kept the body steady when everything else was stripped away. Number 13. Ginger, the root that has never left the temple kitchen in over 1,000 years, and the reason is built into its chemistry. At Koyasan, the mountaintop monastery founded in the 9th century, ginger was essential for monks living in cold, damp conditions at elevation. It was daily medicine against stiff joints, slow digestion, and fatigue from hours of stillness. A meta-analysis in phytomedicine confirmed that gingerol significantly reduces systemic inflammation markers. What monks felt in their bodies, science measured in the bloodstream. Ginger calms nausea and supports digestion. It improves circulation in cold weather, and it lowers muscle soreness and joint stiffness after physical labor. Grate a 1-inch piece of fresh ginger into hot water and drink 15 minutes before your first meal. The monks at Cuisine did not treat ginger as a spice. They treated it as a daily obligation to the body. Number 12. Lotus root, the vegetable shaped like a wheel of circles, and in Buddhism, those holes carry meaning deeper than anatomy. In Kamakura period temples, lotus root was simmered in dashi to support the lungs during humid summer months. Because the lotus flower grows from mud and blooms above dirty water, monks saw it as a symbol of awakening, but they valued the root equally. Research at Jiangsu University found that polyphenol extracts from lotus root reduced oxidative stress and improved immune cell response. Monks preparing lotus soup during monsoon season were building immunity with every bowl. Lotus root provides vitamin C for immune support. Its fiber promotes regular digestion, and natural tannins soothe sore throats and respiratory discomfort. Slice thin, boil 5 minutes, and toss with rice vinegar and sesame oil as a side dish. Monks did not eat lotus root for what it symbolized. They ate it for what it did for the body that carried them through each day. Number 11. Nukazuke, fermented rice bran pickles, the side dish on every temple table and the reason monks rarely had digestive problems. Every Zen monastery maintains a nukadoko, a bed of rice bran, salt, and water stirred by hand daily since the Edo period. Vegetables ferment in this bed for 1 to 3 days. Monks believed it brought balance to the stomach and clarity to the mind. Researchers at the Riken Center found that these fermented vegetables contain lactobacillus strains that support gut barrier integrity and reduce intestinal inflammation. Monks were cultivating the exact bacteria modern companies sell in capsules. Nukazuke delivers dense, live probiotics. Fermentation increases B vitamin bioavailability, and lactic acid naturally inhibits harmful gut bacteria. Prepare a nukadoko with rice bran, salt, and water. Bury sliced cucumbers for 24 hours and eat a small portion with each meal. Monks never took probiotics. They made them with their hands every morning. The difference is not in the bacteria. It is in the ritual. Number 10. Konbu kelp, the sea vegetable forming the invisible foundation of nearly every dish in temple cuisine. During the Kamakura era, monks developed dashi, the umami broth built on konbu that replaced fish stock entirely. It gave them deep flavor without violating the precept against taking life. A study in the journal Marine Drugs showed that fucoidan in konbu stimulates immune cell activity with strong anti-inflammatory properties. Monks built their cuisine around this kelp, feeding their immune systems at the most fundamental level. Kombu is one of the richest natural iodine sources for thyroid health. Glutamic acid satisfies appetite with smaller portions. An alginate fiber slows sugar absorption. Place a 4-inch strip of dried konbu in cold water and heat slowly. Remove before boiling and use as broth for soups and rice. Monks added konbu because a meal built on this broth left the body nourished and the mind undistracted. Number 9. Genmai, brown rice, the grain at the center of every monastic meal and the one most Westerners replaced with its least nutritious form. At a heiji, monks begin each day with genmai porridge called okayu, eaten in silence. When supplies ran low, they survived on brown rice and pickles alone for weeks. It was the foundation that held everything else together. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that gamma-oryzanol in the bran layer of brown rice reduced LDL cholesterol and improved cardiovascular markers. White rice has this layer removed entirely. Brown rice provides sustained energy through complex carbohydrates. Magnesium supports over 300 enzymatic reactions, and intact fiber feeds gut bacteria that white rice starves. Cook 1 cup with 2 cups of water after soaking for 2 hours. Eat as the base of at least 1 meal daily. Monks chose brown rice because they believed nothing should be stripped from what the earth already made whole. Number 8. Umeboshi, the pickled plum, the most sour food in the Japanese diet, and samurai carried it into battle for a reason beyond taste. At Daidakuji Temple in Kyoto, monks ate 1 umeboshi every morning with rice to activate digestion before a day of labor and meditation. It was considered the most important bite of the day. Researchers at Wakayama Medical University found that citric acid in umeboshi improved energy metabolism and reduced fatigue-related lactic acid. The morning ritual was not symbolic. It was metabolic. Umeboshi alkalizes the body despite its sour taste. It stimulates gastric juices for better absorption, and it supports liver detoxification through bile activation. Eat 1 small umeboshi with morning rice or dissolve in warm water before breakfast. Monks called umeboshi the king of alkaline foods, not because science told them, but because their bodies told them every morning. Number 7. Gobo, burdock root, the food Zen monks ate before every fast, and the reason is only now being understood by science. In 12th century monasteries, burdock root was brewed into tea before extended fasting. Monks at Shojin Temple relied on it to prepare the gut for days without food, believing it strengthened the stomach and cleared the intestines. Researchers at Kyoto University found that inulin in burdock root feeds bifidobacterium, the gut bacteria linked to reduced anxiety and improved focus. Monks were not just preparing their stomachs, they were preparing their minds. Inulin is a powerful prebiotic. Burdock purifies blood and supports kidney function, and its lignans show anti-tumor activity in laboratory studies. Steep 2 tablespoons of dried burdock root in boiling water for 10 minutes. Drink before your first meal. Zen monks were not eating gobo to live longer. They were eating it to think more clearly. The longevity was a side effect. Number 6. Shiitake mushrooms. The fungus monks cultivated on fallen logs for 600 years, and the compound inside it that modern oncology cannot ignore. During the Muromachi period, monks in Oita Prefecture grew shiitake on oak logs and ate them daily for protein and umami. Dried and rehydrated, shiitake created a broth so rich it replaced all animal stock. A study in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition found daily shiitake improved immune cell function and reduced inflammatory proteins. The compound lentinin is now studied in clinical oncology at Japanese universities. What monks grew on logs, science is now testing in laboratories. Lentinin activates natural killer cells. Aritetanine lowers cholesterol, and vitamin D supports bone density in those with limited sunlight. Soak 4 dried shiitake in cold water overnight. Use the liquid as broth and slice mushrooms into soups or stir-fries. The monks of Oita grew shiitake because the forest gave them everything they needed, and they were wise enough to use it. Number 5. Natto, the fermented soybean dish most Westerners refuse on sight, and the one food Japanese cardiologists wish everyone would reconsider. Temple records show monks discovered natto accidentally in the 10th century when boiled soybeans stored in rice straw fermented overnight. At monasteries in northern Honshu, it became a survival food through harsh winters. A study in the Journal of Atherosclerosis and Thrombosis found nattokinase breaks down fibrin, the protein behind blood clots. This enzyme is now sold worldwide as a supplement, but monks ate it whole for 1,000 years. Nattokinase reduces clot risk. Natto is one of the highest sources of vitamin K2 for bone health, and it provides a complete amino acid profile. Eat 1 small packet with morning rice and mustard. Stir vigorously for 30 seconds before eating. Monks who discovered natto did not know about blood clots. They noticed people who ate it kept working when others could not. Number 4. Goma, sesame seeds, the smallest food on this list, and the one monks grind by hand in a ritual unchanged for 700 years. Each morning at Zen monasteries, sesame is ground in a suribachi as a form of moving meditation. The result is gomashio, sprinkled over every bowl of rice at Eiheiji since the Kamakura period. A study in nutrition and metabolism found sesame protects the liver from oxidative stress and reduces hepatic fat accumulation. Monks were protecting an organ they never studied. Sesame contains more calcium per tablespoon than milk. Zinc supports immune function, and magnesium regulates blood pressure and sleep quality. Grind 2 tablespoons of unhulled sesame with sea salt and sprinkle over rice or vegetables daily. The ritual was never about the food. It was about paying attention to something small long enough to understand its value. Number 3. Matcha. The tea monks drank before every meditation for 800 years, and the compound inside it explains why they could sit for hours without losing focus. The Zen monk Eisai brought matcha from China in the 12th century and wrote a treatise called Kissa Yojoki on tea and health. Before every zazen session, monks whisked powdered tea and drank it in 3 slow sips. Researchers at the University of Shizuoka found matcha's L-theanine increases alpha brainwaves associated with calm alertness. Because matcha uses the entire leaf, L-theanine levels are 5 times higher than regular green tea. The monks who drank matcha before zazen were chemically preparing their brains for focus. Now, L-theanine reduces anxiety without drowsiness. EGC-Jizz catechins are among the most potent antioxidants in any food, and slow-release caffeine provides 4 to 6 hours of energy without crashing. Whisk 1 teaspoon of ceremonial matcha into 3 ounces of water at 170 degrees. Drink 30 minutes before eating. Eisai did not bring tea to Japan as a beverage. He brought it as a tool for the mind. Neuroscience is proving he was right. Number 2. Tofu, the most important protein in Shojin Ryori and the food that let monks build strong bodies without taking a life. Tofu arrived from China in the 8th century and became the cornerstone of monastic nutrition under the precept of ahimsa. At Nanzenji Temple in Kyoto, tofu, simmered with konbu, has been served to pilgrims for over 400 years. A long-term Harvard study in the journal Circulation found regular soy protein consumption significantly reduced coronary heart disease risk. Isoflavones also support bone density. Monks at Nanzenji were protecting their hearts and bones with every meal. Tofu provides all 9 essential amino acids. It is low in calories but high in satiety, and its calcium and iron make it one of the most nutrient-dense foods per calorie. Press firm tofu, 20 minutes, slice into blocks, and simmer in broth with kombu and soy sauce as the protein center of any meal. Monks ate tofu because it gave the body everything it needed while taking nothing from another living being. That is not restriction. That is precision. Number 1. Miso, the single food Zen monks eat every day without exception, and the one modern gut science considers among the most important fermented foods on earth. Miso has been produced in Japan for over 1,300 years. Monks refined the process and made it central to temple life by the Muromachi period. At every Zen monastery, the first meal begins with miso soup. At Eiheiji, this is continued without interruption for over 770 years. The Tenzo, the kitchen master, considers miso soup the most important task of the morning. A study in the journal Gut Microbes by Kyoto University researchers found daily miso consumption increased bifidobacterium and lactobacillus, the strains most linked to reduced depression, stronger immunity, and lower inflammation. The gut-brain axis is activated directly by the live cultures in unpasteurized miso. Monks were not just feeding their stomachs, they were feeding their minds. Miso delivers dense, living probiotics. It contains all essential amino acids. Its enzymes improve absorption from every food eaten alongside it. And isoflavones support cardiovascular health and reduce arterial stiffness. Bring 2 cups of water to a simmer, never a boil. Remove from heat, stir in 1 tablespoon of unpasteurized miso, and add green onion and tofu. Drink every morning before any other food. For over 1,000 years, Zen monks have started every day with this soup, not because tradition told them to, because their bodies told them to. And now, 13 centuries later, science is finally listening to the same signal.